Hello, everybody. This is Engaging in Heaven's Realms, and it is the 19th of May, 2020. We are blessed to be able to engage together through Zoom. It has been a blessing to us, and we've been able to connect with each other in different parts of the world, which has been a great service to us. So we're really grateful for that. We're also thankful for the angels that are assigned to our purposes and mandates. And we acknowledge and recognize the sentinel angels' great grace, great peace, great help, and great love. And also the other angels that we know are working together for the change and transformation of the ecclesia into becoming a company of heaven dwellers that release out of heaven into the earth. So today we felt that we would like to engage the strategy room and look into and see what we get shown regarding justice. So we come together and we submit ourselves, spirit, soul, and body, to the government of Holy Spirit. We surrender ourselves and we join together with one another. So let's take a moment and embrace each other in spirit, in honor. And let's come together with our hearts open and submitting to open our senses. We agree that we can see, we can hear, we can taste, we can feel, and we can smell and activate all those senses in the realms of heaven. We know that we have been brought here through Jesus. We have been brought to Mount Zion, to the company of the angels, the cloud of witnesses, the seven spirits before the throne, wisdom and her handmaidens, the Father, Yeshua, Holy Spirit, all the dimensions and realms of heaven, to our seats of government, which we have been given, and to our place as sons. And we have come together, honoring and recognizing and embracing all of those beings in heaven, recognizing our oneness with the cloud of witnesses, that we are one ecclesia in heaven and on earth, and embracing them all. Yeah, we just thank you so much, Yeshua, for what you have given by making a way for us to come into the abundant life and the realms of heaven. We just come today because we would want to actually go into the strategy room. We have a desire to come with you into a place of looking into justice. So we just step in together and go for it from here, Zoe.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're stepping in. Father's heart is for justice. The justice that gives you everything that he wants to give you and removes every obstacle from you having that abundance and that love and that provision. So we're coming into the strategy room because we know that Father's heart is for justice, and we know that at the moment in the earth there's a great transfer of resources and power and that's going on, and so we want to be kind of part of the answer and not part of the problem. So we want to come in and seek Father's heart for the justice for this day. So we bring in the passions of our heart, the things that have stirred us up with this week, And it may be that the things that stir us up are the goodness of Father, the joy of Father. It could be the injustice for the vulnerable, and whatever we've got on our heart, the longing for healing, whether it's an injustice, to see justice. So we're stepping in and just asking those who are in the strategy room to make revelation of where Father wants us as a group to go today, to learn, to grow, and to become more and more fully fledged sons, fully strengthened sons in the kingdom of God. As we step in, if you get a sense of anything perception or taste or color or sound or any revelation, then please share that, and please don't be afraid of the silence as well, while people are engaging and getting a sense of what they're being shown.
At the same time, I just felt a little bit in need to make some point at this point. Maybe some of us would be wondering why we engage a strategy room, why the need of justice right now. While as we were benching, we were led to engage Father's heart, and we were shown about this is a time of shift in the spirit and in the earth. And right now, everybody knows what's going on, the chaos, the virus, and so and so. And this is really time to really get mature and have the spirit of the highest level, if possible, of what is mature Son of God, that spirit. And maybe some of us would wonder, we just came in, we are new, we would love to engage with God and so and so. And maybe that's why I say I need to put a little statement. The good thing is there is no new or old. As we all of us, we approach as children, and we learn. Everything we get yesterday, we learn again today. And we don't just need to accumulate information, but we engage them, and we experience, and we live out our encounter. And so there is no fear or no shame to start something like, we are already in justice. I've just stepped in today, and I'm going to justice. I'm gonna to the justice strategy room and learn to judge and so and so. So the situation nowadays is not only from the enemy, like shifting in a bad way the entire world, but God also has a purpose, and therefore we need to grow and need to get mature to step in and to play our role, to flesh out our destiny for the kingdom, God, for the kingdom's sake. So justice, because as you see nowadays, something was happening in the spirit, therefore it's manifesting in the earth. A lot of injustice in the earth. Let's just talk about, for example, finances and economy. Let's say, and I'm gonna say it frankly, let's say that someone loses work now because of the chaos, because of economic things, and everything is under question. How to provide family, how to this, how to that, how to also support each other, how to honor each other, how to do this. And one thing we will notice is mindset shift first. We need to really open and receive everything, and not be alienated from one another, but as family we support each other. The mindset of only getting or only giving, I think we think it's over, but as we give we receive, and we get also in somehow. This is how we mature and how we become a holy nation for this new era of shift in heaven and in the earth. So there is something not really according to God's will, and therefore we need a strategy from heaven to release a justice and judgment, and release the really God's design and God's big picture for us to step in and live out from a new perspective of this new era in all the way, in all of the aspect of our life: family, health, wealth, economy, everything, our destiny. Because we believe, as it is happening now and long time ago, years back, let's say that wealth is in the hands of few, and many people just came on earth and fight just for the food every day and die, while we believe that everybody coming on earth have a destiny from God to manifest, everyone. But it's so unrighteous that there is people who just finish the fight of his life and raise up the children and getting old, and just they couldn't do anything. And for me personally, that's one reason for me. Justice, no father. Judgment, no father. Let everybody has getting their inheritance, and let those who have been stealing, for example, pay sevenfold. We all need to play our destiny, because if not, we are missing the mark, and that's sin. While we are called to come back, to get back to God, all of us now. That's a little point I want to share for those who are wondering why, and so and so. So feel free to share. Feel free to have dialogue. We are family in here. No one is going to judge you, and feel free to testify as well.
When we begin to engage in heaven in the strategy room, my spirit was able to see Jesus and the Father, but there was also, I was surrounded by these other men and other people, and they were all, it seemed to be, they were all having a conversation, and they were kind of directing something. They were all like drawing something up, and then they brought it to Jesus, and then Jesus was basically he was overlooking what was being drawn up. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but that's what I was seeing.
Sorry, Doug, do you mean that he was looking over, not overlooking?
Yes, he was looking. These men were drawing up some sort of, like, it seemed like a strategic like plan, and they were bringing it to Jesus, and then Jesus was reading it over to put his approval on it.
Thank you. Let's just keep looking to see what else we see in this place. What else are we being shown? Do we feel?
I stepped in that revelation Doug was sharing. about people giving something to Jesus report, and he's looking over, and I my eyes was like wide and open like a magnifier. So what I could read was it's not only about economy or wealth, but also everything that's hindering people to not uh, uh, flesh out, to not release their destiny right now. There is people who just really felt like lost, and it's their heart they brought to Jesus. It's a lot of things, many things from the heart of people, and Jesus look at it and read it and take consideration of all of that.
I want to just sort of share this, that I was seeing from the beginning that, if you could put it this way, the strategy room is in the city of justice. And that in actual fact, I was sensing that what we actually have come into is the city of justice, so that we must understand and get to know justice. I want to just further clarify. Sometimes I want to say this from, let's put it this way, past experience, as that oftentimes we've come because we just want a solution, right? We want to sort something out and see it changed. But in heaven, the nature of things is that we get drawn into the nature and ways of God. Yeah. And then out of that, we come into those places that we were talking about of maturity, where we can actually carry out justice, Father's justice. So I don't know if I'm making sense here to everybody, but I feel like that this is where we actually could look and see, are we actually in the city of justice, which is really a part of Father's governmental DNA, if I can put it that way. Yeah.
So, in other words, like experiencing the culture of justice in this city, so that it becomes natural.
Yeah, the nature of Father's justice is the city of justice is an expression of that reality. So we can smell, taste, feel, hear, and be drawn into the understanding and the capacity to embrace and with understanding justice, the justice of Father.
I think the sense that I'm getting is the kind of the foundational truth that every debt has been paid, has been weighed and paid by Jesus. So every debt that we owe and every debt that is owed us has been accounted and accredited through Jesus. So therefore, what we're coming to do is to see that justice satisfied, to see where we've been living in maybe a poverty mindset, to come out of that, because we no longer have to live that way. It is coming to understand Father's heart more, and therefore realize that the guilt and the shame that we carried through our own foolishness is no longer the currency that we live by. We no longer have to carry the weight of that injustice against other people, because it has been paid. So it's that whole richness of the truth of the liberty that comes with Father's justice.
Thank you, Zoe. It was a little quiet. Just want to confirm what you said was that as we've come in here, what you've discerned is that every debt owed to us and every debt that we've owed is being cancelled through Jesus. And is that correct?
Yes, because then that really frees us to get hold of the wonderful liberty and also the freedom of not carrying the guilt and shame. It's like the immensity of justice and the immensity of it. But Father wants us to inherit everything that we were meant to inherit, and part of that justice is having restored that which has been robbed or stolen from us. But not necessarily in a, that person robbed from me, so therefore I demand from them. That's not really what it's about. It's about Father having underwritten every debt to bring us to a place of justice, to bring us to a place of peace, to bring us to a place of rest in Him, so that we can get hold of our inheritance, which is the inheritance of being the person, being the being that Father had intended for us to be, for growing up and maturing and running with the wings of the wind, and being able to sit in the place of authority and have the confidence to know that we are legitimate sons, to do maybe what Hug was saying at the beginning, of being able to come and bring things to Jesus and know that what we're bringing has His heart in it as well, so that He will approve it, because we are mirroring His heart already, and we're just really just coming to confirm what He's already done.
Thank you. And also perhaps just consider what does the atmosphere feel like here? What colors are you seeing? Are you seeing any other beings around? Let's look into getting the picture here.
this may sound odd, but I'm just feeling like a strong sensation of like more natural elements of like zero gravity and like a heaviness all at the same time, like a real weightiness, and yet, as we know, no gravity, right? All at the same time. And I don't know what this really means, but for a while I keep seeing like a crystal object, and it kind of looks like, I thought it was ice at first, and or like a crystal, and maybe both. And I was just wondering about it, and I think perhaps it's more of a vision than what I'm actually encountering in heaven. Like the sensations I'm definitely encountering in heaven, but this this glass, like jagged, not sharp edges, but just, anyways, the thought that came to me was how water responds to the environment, and how it changes, and like just like almost like an analogy of natural elements, like how it changes based on heat or cold, like below 0 degrees and so on. For some reason, I feel like there was something I was wanting to teach about changing. I don't know, like the issues of life changing, and it being based off our natural state, I guess. I don't know what it all means. It's just something I've been looking at and pondering for the last 5 minutes. And yet I'm feeling, the sensation I'm feeling is gravity, and yet like a heaviness, like the opposite of gravity at the same time.
Okay, Michelle, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you were sharing that, Arabella, especially when you're talking about it appeared like it was like crystal, or like it was ice, and then how it was connected with water, changing from ice to water. As you were sharing that, I was getting something I feel about the justice of Father, that it's not harsh, and it changes things that are harsh into the softness of the flow. And so justice is not something that you fight for. We don't need to fight for justice. In heavenly realms with Father, it's already there. It's just that, but justice has no hard points to it. It has no harshness to it. It turns what is hard and harsh into a soft flow of life.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. And I resonate so much with what Zoe said about Jesus' pain, and about Doug was saying about seeing Jesus, looking over some report from people. And what I get was Jesus is reconciling now. What I get. So I was back again. It came back to me again. I've seen this before time in Father's heart. when we agreed with Father, with the Godhead, to come to the earth, I've seen again us being light being, and that is exactly the atmosphere right now. I am feeling in the city of justice, light, warm, but like normal conditioning room temperature, if I may say, but light anyway. So I'm seeing again us and God and our agreement, and it's not just the throne room of God where everything was happening, but it's also a courtroom, and every being is there. Lady Wisdom is there, Seven Handmaiden is there, all the things being in heaven, testifying that moment we say yes to go to the earth, and everything is encoded and wrapped up in our DNA, our destiny scroll. And as long as we leave the DNA replicate, and there is no stop, and so it is with scroll, and so it is our destiny, our days, and everything of God is in that, even at that time. His DNA, his justice, his holiness, his righteousness, life, peace, rest, everything is following that scroll and in our DNA. But then we came to the earth, and now the earth has like become our rival and enemy, and somehow. And as we do this, we go to strategy room. There, Jesus reconcile again everything back, that we get back that was given to us from that beginning. It was already ours. So you are right, there is no need to fight for justice. So we reconcile, as and Jesus reconciles, and as he does that, it's activated in us, and our subconscious, our memories, our everything in us, spirit, soul, body, especially our subconscious, our memories, is getting into alignment to that justice. And I'm seeing a rewiring of a neural pathway, and it's a neural pathway of justice, become one with us. And as we embrace that, we engage that, we tune into that, we become one into that, it will just manifest in our life in another form. What is just needed is we need to unsettle about all the expectation, our brain expectation. Therefore, I see first the unconscious getting into alignment. So if I would say to encourage you, I would say try to activate it again, and you will see it manifested. Justice is your inheritance. It's your identity, and it's belong to you as authority, and backed up by entire heaven, because as we released on in the earth, the angels, the army of heaven was following and opened the way for us to come. It was glorious. I saw trumpet blowing when we came in here, and through that sound and wave and frequency of trumpet is released our scroll and DNA together mingled with the Godhead.
I resonate completely with that, Anitra. I was seeing, as I entered the city of justice, I actually met with two angels as I entered. And the one on my right said to me, the greatest of these is love. And the one on the left said, mercy triumphs over judgment. The judgment of the Father and the justice of the city is that the love and the peace and the tranquility I feel in this city of judgment is absolutely no pressure, but like a buoyancy of the atmosphere and the frequency of God's love radiating the entire city of Justice. And I saw this incredible like pattern of lights flowing in and out of the atmosphere. And it was like as the frequencies were harmonizing and I got come into the fullness of understanding the reality of who we truly are. It just becomes one with the Godhead and flows back through, and the atmosphere of the city of Justice then gets released into the earth and destroys the injustices.
And so if we have to do governmental act for the human race, humankind, so we have to release a justice that they be free from all lies and embrace their destiny, because everybody has agreement with the Godhead. When they come in Him, they knew it or they didn't know it. So release to humankind, because the enemy is trying to erase humankind, wipe away from the earth. But we have to release it that they wake up and deny all the lies. That's a justice. They have a destiny from heaven to play out, to flesh out, to manifest in this earth.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Dimitri and Anitra. It's wonderful. I was also looking again into the city, and one of the things that I was sensing was that there's such a resonance here of rightness. It just resonates. Justice resonates, and it actually resonates, I believe, with the whole of mankind. We know, as in actual fact, there is a knowing that we know with regard to what justice is, because we've come from that realm before we came into our mother's womb, as we were talking about earlier. So I'm just sensing such a frequency of resonance. When you can just say that is true and that is right and that is just. And so I'm sensing that all the way through the heart of Father for us. And I'm loving the understanding that, that we are that expression as one with Father of justice, but also I'm loving that reality of justice is already ours. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've been feeling, just, being infused back into us, and not to stay stuck on the crystal, but I just felt like there was so much more to the analogy of what I was experiencing. And it was like I started thinking a while back about our words and, how we can change matter, by our thoughts and our words and our intents. And, the studies they've done with water and crystals. And then when I was experiencing that dichotomy of gravity but no gravity, and I just get this sense of like him reminding us of, we've experienced a lot of sowing and reaping on the earth through our choices and our mindsets and really the programmings. And he's tethering us and rewiring us, like Kenitra said, our mind, our neural pathways. And we're in this place of justice, we're remembering who we are, and justice just reigns. It is our DNA. It's just in our DNA. And that's what I feel like he was showing, is like, it's back to his programming. It's back to his original intent and design and all the fruit that comes with it, the peace, the joy, the love, just the experience of soundness, you know, and not losing sight of that. So I feel like that's a lot of what this city is that infusion of that culture. It's like I feel it almost like I'm being incubated into justice and the fruit of all that.
Yes, yes, yes. I see it now. I agree totally, Arabella. Thank you, thank you. I see the crystal. Uh, it's it's for the it's for releasing the wave sound, the frequency of that justice into our mind and brain, the new neural pathway of justice, that we have it and we just know what is justice and what is, and justice is already and has been always ours. And also not only that, but Crystal also as is impacting those memory we got from before womb of that justice, uh, for us to remember and keep that memory in us, that we are justice and we are judgment as well. So yeah, I see that part of Crystal. Wow, it's really wonderful. It's transmitting, it's like electricity, like energy, like something, some justice. The crystal, yay.
Thank you. I think the word's not incubator, but like I feel like I'm in the womb of justice, you know? Like it's back in that place.
Michelle said that there is a resonance in here, and crystal has a big part of that. Now I can say that. The city of justice is translucent like crystal. I am going more and more. Transparent, pure. Wow.
As you were saying that, I saw this clear sea of glass like crystal, and it came up in me that the city of justice is part of the foundational understanding of who the New Jerusalem is and how it functions, and that the pureness of that justice, where there is no judgment in a human form or human thinking of the lower nature we had, but that justice is the purity of God flowing through us as part of the New Jerusalem as we extend and restore the earth to what it needs to be.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. And uh, as you say that, like crystal, like mirror, like glass, like crystal, what came to me was I saw again the image, a picture we mentioned before, like Jesus looking over some people report or something, and here it also is a place where, and I said when Doug said that, I said it's everything in people's heart, whatever it is that hindering them to not flesh out or live out their destiny, and everything with that destiny in the earth. And when you said about crystal glass and so, here we say, here we can trade everything people has given to Jesus. We have been given to Jesus as an injustice, as not right, as impure, as lies, to this sea of glass of crystal. Trade back our inheritance, to get back our inheritance. Whew.
That's so true. And I did see the sea of glass earlier too, like a sea of glass.
Arabella, I love the crystals. I cannot thank you much more than it should be. It was so awesome. It's a huge key here.
Just was reminded of the verse in Romans 3 that God is just and the justifier of those who believe in Jesus. And I just kind of sensed in my heart that the justice of Father always leads to life and reconciliation. And I just was just kind of sensing that in my heart.
I love that. Thank you.
Alone I heard him say, release justice over the earth, release also righteousness, because they are the foundation of my throne.
I didn't quite catch what you said. Could you perhaps repeat that, Burungi?
Earlier on, he said, release justice over all the earth, release also righteousness, because they are the foundations of my throne.
I didn't hear the foundations of what?
He said the foundations of God's throne is built on justice.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Burungi. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. Thank you. So righteousness and justice are the foundation of the thrones that we sit in too. Because thrones is just an expression of a place at which we govern and are able to govern in heaven. And we can't do it without the foundations being righteousness and justice. Just to add to what Dimitri said earlier about it being an expression of the foundation of the New Jerusalem, and just agreement with that, because we've also recognized that in the foundation of the New Jerusalem is the government of God. So, and the government of God includes the holiness, justice, and judgment of Father.
And God's throne and God's government is above all governments and other thrones, and is overflowing others' governments and other thrones that is not his, because it cannot cohabitated with something else that's not God. He is supreme authority.
I think that goes along with what something I've been seeing again for a little while, and it's like a crystal. And Hinitra, I believe you were the one that kind of opened it up. You said you saw like electricity earlier coming out of a crystal. Was that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just confirming what you said. Yes, I've said that. Yes.
Okay. Because I started like, okay, I can feel, okay, I saw this like, kind of like a triangular structure, really. It was crystal, and there was like, so I think of government, right? You know, the foundation, everything. But I saw like, that, like almost like a neon pink, or like, electricity shooting out of it, you know, just shooting out of it. And it looked like electricity, but then I was thinking, when you look inside the human anatomy, sometimes things, you know, under a magnifying glass, like, you know, I'm not a medical doctor or anything, Nitra, but sometimes things, under certain imaging, they look like electricity. And I was thinking of, again, the neural pathways, and when certain things fire off through nerves or neural pathways and so on, I just saw this electricity coming out of this triangular shaped, kind of like a, um, it was like a crystal or something of that nature, but it was just firing out. And what I was feeling was it was happening inside me, and it was also coming out of me.
Like a
And
prism? A prism?
yeah, prism. And God speaks to me in certain ways with colors, because it was like pink, but like electric. I always think of course, red, you know, the blood of Yeshua, and the Spirit of the Lord. But I think of purity in that, like the purity makes that color, but it was electric. And I was like, well, this is going on inside of me, kind of like what we've been talking about. And then from that place, it's shooting out, you know?
The prism is in your heart,
Yeah.
and his light hits it, and then it's like the electric rainbow wave frequencies of his love is radiating from your heart throughout you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. It's just kind of peculiar, but that's what I've been feeling and seeing.
I totally resonate with that, Arabella. That's awesome. Yes, exactly. And what comes to me when you were talking about the pink, it's the love of God is with his justice. It's a love. It's a love. Father's love. To me anyway.
Yes. 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 That resonates. Yes. And the purity and the innocence of just his love moving through us too, back to that place where there's not that judgment, the false judgments.
What others are seeing, sensing, feeling? Anyone else want to share?
I'm just very aware of his presence and his deep affection and the way he loves me.
Awesome.
I just feel to share that basically what I was saying is ultimately the justice of God is firing in me, and that fire is removing, all the falseness, the triggers, the things that don't need to be. It's firing that out, it's burning that out, and it's igniting that original design of justice, the original DNA of his perfect love, his justice in me.
Beautiful.
Something that just came to my mind is that love does not rejoice at injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. And so I just was embracing that justice is, part of justice is truth winning out. And I love that.
It's really good.
What I was getting is, I've been asking a little bit, how should justice flow out of me in a situation? I was just thinking about a particular situation that I saw recently. And I was thinking about that and saying to Father, okay, so how does justice flow out of me in that situation? And when I got that scripture that said, love rejoices whenever doesn't rejoice at injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out, I could see that that's part of it, that the truth has to win out in that situation. And so sometimes you might look at a situation and just want to judge it right away and say, well, that's wrong, and that should be done, and they should do that, and they should do that instead. And And if you could take that to a place of Father's justice, it goes below that to a place of what's really going on here and where's the truth that needs to be released in this situation. And that takes it in, I believe, into the dimension more of the justice of Father. Things are not just as they seem, in other words, you know, and a quick judgment of a thing is not the justice of Father, even if you can see what's something that's wrong that needs and what needs to be done to be correct. There's truth that's underlying the actions and so on that needs to be released to help establish justice.
I'm so glad you shared that, Michelle. And with that, I was getting, okay, so in the meantime, one of the aspects of justice internally, when it's not being outworked externally, is that peace, that the fruit of it is that peace that surpasses all understanding. And that we don't have to be shortchanged because we're waiting for justice to happen around us. It's back to that constant flow of love that wins out inside of us.
I also am seeing that the justice to the question, which was how justice would manifest in the life, in situation, and one of the answers I got was it's also related to God's Kairos time. It happened in God's Kairos time, and allow me to share a little testimony of like something happened about God's time. I was before when I started to engage heavenly realms, we were taught to ask for daily mandate from heaven and be one with that. But I grew up and I just as I engaged my scroll, and I believe my scroll is about multiplication and so and so. So as I engage it, I didn't ask anymore like what I'm gonna do today, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, but I just release it, and before it's happening, I get it in my thought, out of a blue, like out of like nonsense, but I get it, and it just happening without me even making a thought like how to apply it. Should I say or should I decree? It just happen. So this is related to what I said before, to align our subconscious and conscious and mind to that memory, to that justice again, and be one with that, be part with that, like part in it's part to our beings, and release it, and it happening in God Kairos time. So we really don't need to worry. There is no stress. Like when it's happening, how about this? How about that? It's already there, and it's just manifest. There is manifestation, and to me, I don't know about you guys, but to me, thoughts are very powerful. To me, when my entire being, especially my thought, is aligned, whew, it's just like everything is quick. So I just want to share that.
Thank you, Anitra.
Earlier, I just saw made in justice, made in justice, by justice, for justice. And so, in other words, we are made in justice, by justice, for justice. And as I was just meditating on that, I just felt I saw us being sort of clothed with justice and crowned with justice. And so, you know, recognizing that this is what we were made in and made by and made for. And part of that justice is the restoring of all creation, right? So, but if you, I just saw us being clothed sort of with a robe of justice, like white light, and a crown of justice. So I just wanted to encourage us then, you know, if you're seeing that, embrace that, just to encourage us also to personally embrace the spirit of justice is in me, is with me, is I'm clothed with, and let that become established. And we don't have to understand everything about it, about everything to do with justice, to embrace the reality that we are, it's in us, we're in justice, we're clothed with justice, and so on.
That's really good, Michelle. And I'm just remembering what I do sometimes when I find myself stressed by a situation. I try to identify, is it a government, like a false government? And so I just come out of that false government of injustice, of being a victim, you know, to injustice, and that I'm yoked to pure justice. And it's easy and it's light.
I would say because justice DNA of Father is in me, so I would say I'm justice of God. I am judgment. And even Bible say that we are going to judge angels. So for me, that confirms that I am judgment as well, because they go hand in hand. And then everything is not justice will be going away from me. That's my identity as well, as I sit in that authority, the throne of justice with Father.
Yes, that's good. It's in me. I'm with it. Justice. Under it. It's in me. It's with me. I'm yoked to it. Every which way, you know? So good.
Okay, so let's add to it. I'm made by justice. I'm made in justice. I'm made for justice. Justice is in me. I am in justice. I manifest justice. My name is Justice.
Everything about me is justice. Everything around me is justice. Is about justice, or it's becoming that.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, nice to meet you, Justice Michelle, Justice Arabella, Justice Doug, Perungi, Justice Zoe, Anita, Sharon, Laurel. I don't know who is Abe Flora, Niels, Trudy, Dimitri.
Yes.
Confirms why. That confirms why at the beginning.
Diane. Oh,
Yes.
she's not here.
When we started, what I heard was, "We are Justice League."
You heard we are Justice
League.
Sorry?
We are Justice League.
League, League, League.
Yes, that's what I heard at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so play for the Justice team.
That's what you just confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
House of Justice.
I'm part of the Justice family, too.
Yes.
On the team. And we
Holy-
play Justice.
A holy nation of justice. We resonate with justice. Justice resonates within us. Justice flows out of us. Justice flows into us. We are one with justice. All our gates agree with justice. All the gates of our spirit, soul, and body agree with justice. With Father's justice, with true justice.
We are surrounded with the boundaries of justice.
We embrace the law of justice. We love
live in
the
this
angels of justice.
We live in the city of justice.
Yes. We have residence in the city of justice. Isn't it wonderful? We're so grateful to you, Father, and Yeshua. We're so grateful to you, Yeshua, for bringing us into justice, for being the testimony that brought us into this place of restored life, to restore justice to us, to show us your justice and to reveal your justice through your life and death and resurrection for us. We're so thankful to you. All the situations around our life are brought into justice because we are surrounding them as a city of justice.
Yes.
That's they're under the government of the city of justice that we are now part of, that we are recognizing that we're actually a part of, and that we are. So all things concerning us in the earth, everything concerning our lives is now under this government that we are a part of, the government of justice. The Father's justice.
So good. Jesus.
Perhaps we should leave it there. If someone else has something to share before we close.
I just want to say that was awesome.
We just want to say we're so thankful to you, Father, Yeshua, Holy Spirit. We're so thankful to you for taking us into the strategy room where we saw that we were actually in the city of justice. And we know that we've just tasted, we've just begun to know and grasp a hold of the fullness of all that has to do with you and justice and us and the reality that we are justice too. But we do embrace it fully. And we thank you so much that Holy Spirit's going to grow within us and that we will continue to visit, engage, participate in the city of justice.
I honor everybody in here today, but I want to really give a special honor to Zoe, because a strategy room is Zoe things. Thank you, Zoe.
Amen. Thank you, Zoe.
You're so welcome. That's been glorious. It's just been lovely to just sit with the flow of justice, just letting it wash over me. Wonderful. I love justice.
Yes. Yes, I love justice too.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
We join.